Have you ever wondered what it means to be a successful leader? Well, today I'm going to answer the question, what is leadership success? And I'm going to break it down into two categories so that you can achieve it. What is leadership success? So before I give you my definition of leadership success, I want to make a very important point. Success does not necessarily mean outcomes or results. Just because you have amazing outcomes or results in your job doesn't necessarily mean that you are achieving leadership success. By the same token, just because you've experienced a failure does not mean that you have experienced leadership failure. Everybody fails sometimes. Look at it this way. Some of the best leaders in the world fail. It doesn't determine how you are as a leader or how successful you are as a leader. What matters is how you deal with those failures. That is a better reflection of your leadership success than anything else. It's like I said in last week's video, failure is a necessary part of the process. Don't fear failure. If you go around trying not to fail, you're never going to take the risks necessary to make your organization better or to improve your own personal leadership. If you are constantly going through fearing that you're going to make a mistake, and if you make a mistake, you might not get promoted, well, then you're not really going to be making decisions based off your leadership values. You're going to be making decisions based off of fear. So why don't outcomes equal leadership success? Like I said in my previous video, outcomes do not define success. It's how we get to those outcomes that is really going to make the difference between whether or not you are acting as a leader and achieving leadership success. Now, leadership success is going to look different for everybody. It depends on what you do, it depends on who you are, and it depends on what leadership values you hold. But there are two core fundamental skills that I believe that contribute to leadership success. At the most basic level, leadership success is looking at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and asking yourself whether or not you have done everything in your power to lead the way that you wanted to lead. How did you handle the challenges that came up for you today? Is there anything that you would want to do differently for tomorrow? How did you put yourself out there and speak up when you had something to say? If at the end of the day you can look at yourself and honestly say that you led the way that you wanted to lead, then that is leadership success. But don't worry. If you look at yourself at the end of the day and you say, you know what, there are some things I would do differently, well, there is an opportunity for improvement. Please do not forget to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Seriously, guys, it really helps if you can like the video because it can help YouTube identify that my content is something that they want to suggest to other people. Thanks. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the two elements that make up leadership success. So both of these elements on their own are extremely important, but together is what really makes you a successful leader. The first is how we act. So leadership soft skills. The second is how we advance our organizations. So what I would call the leadership hard skills. Both of these by themselves are extremely important and extremely difficult to learn. But when you can get them right and you can combine them, it's a powerhouse of a leadership skill set. Imagine being able to know what your organization needs and how to improve it, and then also be able to actually get the job done, get people to buy in, and actually move that agenda forward. You're advancing the organization and all while conducting yourself and acting like a leader. Now, when I say acting like a leader, I don't mean acting. I don't want you to go and pretend to be somebody you're not. In fact, you need to be yourself in order to truly be a good leader. I'm talking 100% yourself. Bring yourself to work every single day in all its imperfection. Vulnerability is one of the skills that I'm going to talk about today, and it is one of the most important. You don't want to seem like this person that just sits on some pedestal and who's better than everyone else. That's not leadership. That is going to push away your people and your team and make you unapproachable. And so that's absolutely, when I say acting, I do not mean to be anybody but you. So if not acting, then what? What I'm talking about is leadership soft skills. So some of the soft skills that I'm talking about are understanding and embodying your leadership values, understanding your personal limitations, your communication skills, embracing vulnerability, and just generally how we show up on a day-to-day basis. We're responsible for the energy that we bring to a room when we walk into it. So own your energy and come as your best self to work as often as you can. These leadership soft skills are so important, and I will be breaking them down in future episodes. So once again, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. But if you're not willing to wait until one of my videos and you want to read up on the topics, I would recommend looking for books from Brené Brown, Simon Sinek, or Patrick Lencioni to get you started. These popular authors do an amazing job of covering the leadership soft skills. There are not nearly as many authors that cover the second set of skills that I'm talking about today, which is the leadership hard skills. Understanding your organization and being able to take a look at your organization with a critical eye and actually be able to identify where within your organization there might be some room for improvement or something that should be done in order to move your organization forward is a skill that a lot of these books just don't cover. Being able to identify these leverage points within the organization and how to improve it actually comes only when you already have the first set of skills, which is the soft skills, combined with the leadership hard skills. This is when the magic happens. This is when you're being able to know what your organization needs and most likely be able to find an awesome solution to solve it. The leadership hard skills include being able to see the big picture of your organization. How do you know that your view on the organization is accurate? You're only one person within a larger organization. How do you do this? These are some of the skills that would be considered a leadership hard skill. The next skill would be systems thinking. Applying systems thinking to your leadership within your organization allows you to see how everything is interconnected, and you'll be able to see the interdependencies within your organization and probably other organizations as well. Having this bird's eye view of everything and how it all works is going to give you the opportunity to see the places within the organization that things might not be working as well as they should be. Problem solving. Once you are able to identify those leverage points within your organization, how are you going to solve that problem? The steps and the processes in which you apply to solving the problems is also a leadership hard skill. Organizational health. Organizational health is something that is critical to an organization. It speaks to the health of the organization from a personnel standpoint, from a processes standpoint. It talks about how your leaders within your organization are also leading and how everybody is working together. Are we working in harmony or are we constantly bickering and fighting? These are the types of things that can speak to organizational health. So how do you identify what your organizational health is? Do you have your finger on the pulse as to whether or not things are going well or whether or not things are going poorly? This is something that is far more difficult to determine than whether or not outcomes are being met, because most likely outcomes are measurable. It's a good idea to try to find a way to be able to measure your own personal organization's organizational health. The final one that I'm going to put on this list is simply empowering and developing others. So you could probably argue that this is a soft skill, but the reason that I put it in as a hard skill is because when push comes to shove, are you taking the time to empower and develop your people? Often it takes longer to be able to incorporate this into your processes, but it is an important part of leadership because we're all, as a leader, we are trying to empower and bring everybody up. It's not just about getting the job done. So you may be thinking, leadership hard skills sound a lot like management. So I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I think that a lot of people give management a bad rep. So there's nothing wrong with management. Management is just a different skill set from leadership skill set, and both are good and both are necessary at certain times. The trick is you need to be able to identify when each skill set is required. To help you achieve your own leadership success, I've created a leadership success worksheet, which is something that you can use to work through what we've discussed today and help you find your own leadership success and what this means for you, and work through each of the skills and identify maybe if you have some to work on, and set some goals to be able to achieve those. Like I said before, in future videos, I'm going to go into more detail about all of these different elements of leadership success. So if you haven't done so already, please hit the red subscribe button below, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you will be informed when I upload a video. Once again, if you like this video today, would you please smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm? And once again, it really does help my channel out, and so I really appreciate your help. See you in the next video.